Hello everyone and welcome to this first FPL live stream of the 2023-24 season where I'm going to be rating your first drafts. Really excited to have all the new graphics live for you today, so fingers crossed everything works well. Let me know in the chat if you can see me, hear me, what you think to the new look on the channel as well. And it's really exciting because we have just 2 weeks to go until the FPL Gameweek 1 deadline. There's about 2.5 million teams registered at the moment on the FPL website. That's only going to ramp up. Lots of pre-season action going on as well, helping us with our drafts or maybe confusing us even more. If you are in, please do say hello in the chat then and give the stream a like and subscribe to the channel. I do this regular Friday 1 o'clock slot throughout the season. When the season goes live in 2 weeks' time, I'll be doing the Game Week 1 press conference stream, bringing you all the latest injury news ahead of Game Week 1. So if you hit the notify button, that'll let you know whenever I go live, and make sure that you're joining me every Friday at 1 o'clock. In terms of what's going on today then, I put a tweet out yesterday on my Twitter, or X as it's now called, at Holly Shand. You can find me on there, saying that I was doing a stream and to drop your draft. So if you do still want to get involved, it's not too late. Head over to my account and I'll tell you what, I'll put it in the chat and then you've got it. And then from there, you'll be able to post your team on there from the FPL website or the app, and then I'll be able to rate your teams. I'm also going to be showing you my latest draft. I did put a video up, I think it was on Monday. I've made a couple of small tweaks, no major changes, just a few small changes. So hopefully you'll enjoy looking at that as well. And I'm going to be using the Fantasy Football Hub AI predictions as well to help you with your drafts, give you them a rating. So I'll add that into the chat as well so that you can get sorted with that. So first thing I'm going to do then is head over to the chat, which doesn't seem to be doing anything at the moment, which is a bit of a worry. Maybe I just need to give it a refresh. Here we go. See, managing to cope with technology. There's lots of you in already, which is brilliant to see. So thank you for joining on the pre-season stream. I can see lots of familiar faces in, some members as well. Niraj is in, as is Brendan, Pinnock, Mike, Angelos is in as well. Mustafa is in, as is Johan, Steve, Tommy. So thank you all for joining. And as you can see, this is where you need to be then to get involved with the stream by dropping your draft in. And I can get round to rating some of them. As I mentioned though, I have made a few small changes to my current draft, which is here. No major changes from the video that I posted on Monday. The main thing is that I've taken John Stones back out, downgraded to Gabriel, which gives me the 0.5 million to upgrade Martinelli to Saka, which is really exciting. I really liked to start the season with a double Arsenal attack, and Saka and Odegaard feels like the right place to be on at the moment. Saka on pens, although we did miss one a couple of days ago in pre-season, which is a little bit of a worry. But really pleased with that Arsenal triple up that I've got now. The other change I've made is I've taken Matoma out. First time he's been out of my draft all season. I've put Mbomo in. Now the reason for that is I really want to go with Mbomo because he's nailed on to start. He's got set piece responsibility. He's on pens. He's also got goal threat from open play. Whereas I feel like comparing him to Matoma, there's a lot of competition for spaces at Brighton, which is a bit of a worry. And we've also got to think about the fact that Matoma doesn't have the strong underlying numbers. He is a bit of a stat buster, but also isn't involved in set pieces. I'm actually looking at the rotation at Brighton right now. I'm actually thinking that Solly March may be the one to go for, but I mean, it is tricky. I would like to get a Brighton attacker in there. Maybe João Pedro becomes an option and I can drop Visser. I don't know yet. This is a bit that I'm most confused on, but that's where I'm at with my draft at the moment. Anyway, I have put this in to the Rate My Team tool on Fantasy Football Hub, and it has given me a rating of 98% and a game week rating of 97%. Remember, you can get your team rated by AI by using the link in the description to this video. I'm going to pin it in the chat as well, so that you can go ahead and do that. It's a really great tool. I am going to be, all of your teams that I'm rating today, I'm also going to be looking at on there as well. But yeah, exciting times with that rating. Gives me a lot of confidence. I think I did try a threemium draft with Salah, Trent and Haaland, and it did give me 99%. But yeah, I've changed a few things since then. It's going well. I can see Akshat is in the chat. He's a channel member. Thank you for joining me today. Also got Ahmed in the chat, Max, Benny, Peter from Montenegro, Bobby Joe is in as well, Chewy and Ethan. So some familiar names. I enjoy seeing all the comments on my videos, so it's nice to have lots of you joining me in the chat today. I have picked out some interesting drafts to start with then. We'll see how we get on with these. The first one is from Gazman. I don't know, Gazman, if you're in the chat. If you are, give me a shout. Work in progress draft. Now, this one was quite interesting for me because it's 4-4-2. I think the majority of managers are going to be going for a 3-5-2 at the start of the season, but I think the 4-4-2 looks okay in this place. Pickford, I'm not sure about him as the goalkeeper. I've got Flecken at the moment, but I think maybe an option might emerge. Possibly Brighton and Jason Steele. But then I really like the defence. Trent, Stones, Shaw and Estupiñán, some really solid picks in there. Double United midfield with Rashford and Fernandes, same as my team, which is great. Saka, Matoma, Haaland, Gabriel Jesus. Nice balance to the squad. I look at the team and I think John Stones and Luke Shaw, if you take one of those out, you could get like an Mbomo in midfield. And I don't know how your budget works out, but you know, that could look really nice as a draft. They would maybe be the areas that I would work on. So I'm going to put this draft into the My Team tool on Fantasy Football Hub as well. It might take me a little bit of going in between to get them. I know, I'll take a picture and then can't go too far wrong then, can I? So it's going to let me do that. Perfect. So I'm going to plug this in and see what the My Team tool suggests, because the other great thing that it does is it gives you a prediction as well. Luckily, it's not too different from my team, so it's not going to take mass changes, but it also allows you to optimise and gives you some recommended transfers as well, which is nice to just know if you're on the right lines, if there's anything obvious you can do to change things as well. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a cold again, guys, which you'll probably be thinking typical. I've always got a cold. That Traore was in there as a bench option. Obviously, the bench needs some work. The bench is really difficult at the moment, just trying to get a grip on, you know, who's the best picks to go for and who isn't. A few options potentially emerging in pre-season, which will make things easier for us. So we've got Pickford, Trent, Shaw, Stones, Estupiñán, Rashford, Fernandes, Saka, Matoma, Haaland, Gabriel Jesus, and a bench of... I'll put the bench players in as well. I know it's probably not that important. Never heard of some of these guys, which is encouraging. That was Gusto and Woodrow. There we go. So if we pop this all in, it will optimise for you. Hang on, let me pass the test. And give you the rating as well. So this has got a 97% rating, team and game week. So that's really encouraging there in terms of the picks that you've got. Haaland captain, Rashford vice for game week 1. I'm interested to see the recommended transfers because I think the tools on Hub do like City defence and John Stones. So we'll see, Gazman, what the algorithm is going to suggest that you do. Akshat has asked thoughts on having a Chelsea player in the Game Week 1 draft or bringing them in Game Week 3 or after. I think Chelsea is so unknown at the moment, particularly with Liverpool Game Week 1, new manager. I think you give it a little bit of time. Hang on, what's happened there? Did I not save it? Didn't save it, did I? No, what have I done? Right, we'll stop that one there and we'll move on to the next one because I don't want to spend more time on that one. So the next one I've got picked out was from Mike FPL Hovewolf. Now this draft is very similar to mine. There's Nkunku in there, who's an interesting pick, and Solly March is in. A lot of managers gone Matoma. Mike has gone for March, which I find interesting. He's a player that I'm, you know, really considering at the moment. I think obviously the Pickford pick probably needs a bit of work. I know we all plugged him in early season and we're slowly moving away, which I think is the right thing to do. But, you know, some really nice picks in there. So we'll see how this one goes with the algorithm. Again, it's not too much different to my team. So it's not going to take me ages to change this all up. So March is in. So we need to lose Odegaard. I'm going to put in Mbomo instead. So we've got Rashford, Fernandes, March, Saka, Mbomo. And it's Nkunku up front. Now, I'm on the fence with Nkunku, and, you know, we've got this Nicholas Jackson's emerging as quite a decent pick as well. And then we've got Archer. And is that Kabore? He's the new signing, isn't he, at Luton? Could be quite advanced. Right, let's save it this time. Optimise. So 97% team rating for Mike here, 95% game week rating. If we look at the transfers again, this will be interesting. I think I've done this on another draft and it was suggesting that I sell Trent. It's done the same. Does allow to get in Gabriel Jesus. I don't rate Nkunku as a pick, if I'm honest, but it does allow to get in Gabriel Jesus. Downgrade Trent to Stones is what the algorithm recommends. We don't want to do that. Let's put that we don't want to sell Trent and see what happens, because it might give us a better suggestion. But yeah, Nkunku seems to be playing the number 10 role at Chelsea behind Jackson. And I just think at 0.5 million cheaper and more advanced, Jackson might be the pick. So the algorithm prefers Odegaard to Saka. It prefers Matoma to March. And it prefers Jesus to Nkunku. Now, I think you did say... Did you say you had funds in the bank? Obviously do. So yeah, hopefully that is helpful, Mike. Let me know in the chat, guys, what you think to these suggestions as well. I'll just jump over to the chat for a minute and see what's going on. Thomas, if you want to get your team rated, you need to put it in on Twitter. Angela says, nice presentation. Thank you. It's been a lot of work to get to this point. Bobby Joe got 99%. That's amazing. Well done. From Cyprus. I love it in Cyprus, Angelos. It used to be my holiday destination of choice before little ones came along. FPL Aguero, put your team in on Twitter. Nelson, again, head to Twitter to get your draft rated. Next one I'm going to look at is Akshat's draft. I can see you're in the chat, Akshat. Triple City was the thing that stood out to me on this one. A really nice draft, though. I guess the absence here is Trent. There's no Trent in here, but there is that Triple City and double United attack as well. Double Arsenal attack, double City attack. Now, the appeal for City assets is the fixtures, and I read a great thread from Alex, a City fan on Twitter, really plugging Foden and how he could potentially have a really great season. So he's one to look out for. It's just rotation with Pep, especially with the triple up. It makes it a little bit more scary in terms of which options to go for. But I still think there's some merit in maybe going with some of these picks. Obviously, I like Mbomo, I like Saka. It's just having no Trent, which is the worry. For me, 0.5 million in the bank, not pre-booking transfers on Chelsea assets. Yeah, I think that's wise. Right now, I prefer Mbomo to Matoma. So hopefully that helps you as well. Really nice team other than Trent. Now, I bet I bet the algorithm on the hub's going to love this one, actually, because it keeps saying sell Trent for Stones, so we'll see what it says. This is going to be the last one for a little while that I'm going to plug in on here, because I think it can take a bit of a while to get all of them in, especially when you're just copying rather than, you know, when it's your own team, you've kind of got it ingrained in your head, haven't you, of who you're picking and who you're not picking. When I'm following other people's, it takes a bit more fiddly. Let me just get the right screen on, guys. While I'm doing this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. I'm trying to get to 20k subs for the start of the season. Now, at the moment, I'm not even at 19k. So a bit of work to go. Obviously, I'm going to have a lot of content still going live over the course of pre-season. But honestly, all of your support is really appreciated. I really tried to, you know, level up the content this season. So hopefully you're seeing the benefits of that. There's 60 of you in at the moment. So hopefully we can at least get the stream to 50 likes, if nothing else. Right. We're saving. We've optimised. What's that done? Swapped something somewhere, didn't it? Right, let's have a look at the AI transfers. I'll do it for Akshat, because I think he's probably the most long-term subscriber and member on the channel, so big supporter. You're not going to be happy though. It's suggesting losing Saka and Foden to get in Trent. So I think basically the algorithm's saying get Stones, but not at the expense of Trent. And it's not loving Foden at the moment, but I guess Foden does have that ability to really boss it, you know, over and above what maybe the predicted data's like. The predicted data won't like his minutes for a start, and that's something that's important. Oh, Gazman's in. Hopefully he's not missed his rate my team. So I just want to look at, it's quite interesting this, if you look into the predictions. It says for Foden, he's got a prediction of 65 minutes per game. And a prediction over the first 4 game weeks that he'll score 18.7 points. Now, if he can improve those minutes from 65 minutes, say if he's playing 80 minutes a game, so that's probably a 25% increase. You know, you're going to get you could potentially get something like 23, 24 points out of him with those increased minutes. You know, if you put him at that, he could be one of the top performing midfielders in the game. It's just one of those of, will he get those minutes? But if you're confident that Foden's going to get the minutes, he is a player that doesn't need a lot of time on the pitch to really perform. And that could be the cheat code to get you in. So I think that's a pretty good draft. I'm just going to do one more before I head back over to the chat. So you can start dropping questions in the chat. If you've dropped a picture of your team on Twitter quite recently, I can go back and look at that as well. The other one that I'd picked out was from Niraj. Niraj, I know you're in the chat as well. So very similar, this one. Zinchenko in there over Gabriel, which is interesting. Again, I think you'll find the predicted data does prefer Gabriel to Zinchenko, as you can see here. And minutes a huge factor. 76 minutes prediction for Zinchenko, 90 minutes for Gabriel. So that's a big one in there. Also, if we have a look through, Grealish, Foden, bit of a headache. I think it'll be really interesting to see how City line up for the Community Shield. That's going to give us a lot of clues on, you know, what to expect from them, particularly their starting lineup for the first few weeks of the season. But, you know, Grealish could be a differential. I did have Grealish and Foden in my first draft. They've both gone. And I like the Odegaard shout over Saka, Niraj. I think I'm going to wimp out and probably go with both because Saka's ownership is crazy. But, yeah, really nice draft. Again, the thing that lets it down is no Trent. I really do think Trent is the best defender. I'm going to have a video dropping tomorrow, actually, guys. So make sure you hit the notify button so you don't miss it on the best defenders. And spoiler alert, Trent is number 1. And if you have a look again at the predictions tool for defenders over the first 4 game weeks, Trent is head and shoulders above the rest. And if you look even longer term, the gap only gets wider. Trent and Stones potentially both out of position is the thing that's most exciting. Right, I'm going to head back over to the chat then, see what you guys are saying. FPL Aguero, please send your team in on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Hopefully you can see all the instructions on your screen now, which should hopefully make it clearer on exactly what you need to do if you haven't done so already. Loving the support, guys. The chat is going off and 75 people joining live. Really happy with that, with, you know, another 2 weeks to go till the game week 1 deadline. Bobby says, got 2 drafts, one strong, the other good but risky. Zoran has asked, Trossard and Saka with a good first bench player is a decent shout for the beginning, especially when Trossard plays really good in pre-season. Yeah, let me have a look then. Oh, Johan said, oh, it's Holly Shand. I thought it was Holly's hand. Oh, that's funny. Do you know what? Whenever I've got a new email address or something, I always put the dot in. And you'll see on Twitter there's a capital on the S to try and get away from the Holly's hand. It's a name that has come with marriage. It's got its downsides, that's for sure. Right, I'm going to see if I can... Hang on, this isn't playing ball with me. What I wanted to see was if there was any more drafts. And I'm trying to look for names here. People that are in the chat. So if you see your name, tell me to stop so that you've got it. I can't see anyone that I've seen in the chat yet. Maybe I'm missing it. Oh, Chewy, I've seen you in the chat. Let's have a look at Chewy's draft then. So again, if I can see your name in the chat and I've seen a notification on Twitter, then I'm probably more likely to go through your draft. And again, as I've mentioned, if you do want to get your draft rated by the Hub AI, then make sure you're doing so. So Chewy has got a pretty good team here. Quite similar to my current draft, actually. Martinelli didn't play in the last pre-season game, and that competition with Trossard does concern me because Trossard is in decent form. So I think if you're doubling up on the Arsenal attack, I think Martinelli would be pick number 4 for me at the moment. So that's one to look out for. But other than that, really nice draft as things stand. I can see loads of you saying, this is me, this is me. Joe is in. Let's have a look at Joe's draft then. Onana is in there. Akanji. I do prefer Stones to Akanji. I think, you know, that out of position is the thing that sways it. 3-4-3 draft here, which is interesting. I don't love Nkunku in there. I'd sooner go 3-5-2. Than have Nkunku. Chilwell on the bench I think is fine. Having him as a good first sub. Got him then for game week 2. Yeah, it's Akanji and Nkunku that I'm not loving in there, but I do like some of the other ones that you've got there. Right, who else have we got? Because I can see that some of you have said you're on Twitter. FPL Cavalry, I've seen you in the chat as well. Flecken in goal like that. The 4-4-2 here, another one of these. Double Arsenal attack, which is big plus. Foden in there, which I like. And Bomo on the bench is a bit scary. I think the thing is here, just looking at your team, and I think this is what you've said, you feel like you've spent too much money on the bench, which I agree with. And your only issue is not going with Liverpool. Well, I think the compromise here is that you spend less on the bench and you go with a Liverpool defender. So you can bring Mbomo in, play a 3-5-2 and get Nkunku down to a cheap player to get Trent in. That would be what I'd do. Zinchenko, I can see the appeal, but I think if you're going an Arsenal defender, Gabriel's better. Pedro Porro, I've seen him in a few teams. He's not making my top 10 defenders. I just don't really know what to expect from... Sorry, my voice is going. I don't really know what to expect from Spurs at the moment. I think just with Kane going, that adds a question mark. New manager adds another question mark. Elias, please don't spam the chat. Thank you. So they're the things that are of a little bit of a concern for me. So I think, you know, that could be your route. Need to go a bit differential. I don't think it's actually necessary to go that differential. I know sometimes you can think, oh, too many people have got the same teams, but I don't think it's a big issue. Nick is in. Hello, Nick. Another one of my members. Thank you for the support. If you are interested in the memberships button, guys, you can hit the join button, and they've got a few emojis and things that members get to use as well. And obviously, any help to support the channel, then is great. Really gives me that motivation. Lots of content on the channel, and all of your support, I really do appreciate it. We're nearly up to 100 people in, so if you are in, hit that like button. Help get the stream to at least 50 likes. We should really be able to hit 100. Right, quite a few of you in the chat say you've just dropped in your drafts. I'm just trying to figure out whose names I've seen. Pinnock, I've seen you on the chat on YouTube. Double Chelsea forward line. Wow. Salah in there, which I think this is the first Salah I've seen. Certainly for this stream anyway. Double City defence. Some interesting picks in here, Pinnock. I like Onana. I don't know whether I'd have Onana and Shaw. I feel like that's a little bit overkill. I think if you're going with a United defender, that's fine. I'd sooner have a United attacker in there. I think going 2 Chelsea forwards is too much in a way, especially with Liverpool at home in game week 1. A bit of an unknown. I think you've just got to choose one and stick with them. I like the Bowen pick. I like Haaland, Salah, Saka. Some really nice picks in there. I think you just need to tweak this so that the formation's a bit more attacking. And I think you're missing a United attacker. Certainly game week 1, game week 3 at home to Wolves and Forest. You need one of them in there. And I wouldn't double up on the City defence. I think that's asking for trouble with rotation. Nice to see a few different things though. Who else have we got? Have I seen you in the chat, Jamato? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Steele, Trent, Botman, Gabriel. I think you need to update your app. Have you ever updated the app? These kits are old. They're not even last year's. I think are they 2 years old? I mean, Jesus on the bench needs to be on the pitch. And Ciso, not convinced. Trossard, not convinced. I think Douglas Luiz must be your first sub and Jesus comes on. I don't think I'd choose Trossard game week 1. I think that would be a big thing for me. But, some interesting picks in there and the same. Ben, I've seen you in the chat, definitely. Onana in goal. No problem with that. Stones are stooping and... I don't know if I'd go with Young. Sterling, Son, Salah, Eze, Rashford. Well, there's one key man you've not got in there, Ben. Is this the risky one with no Haaland? I see what you mean by risky now. I don't think I would go no Haaland. I think that's asking for trouble. I think he's going to have as good a season as he had last season. I'd like to see your main draft. Brendan, are you in the chat? Have I seen you in the chat? Paul, I think I've seen you. Nice draft, this one. Let me just make sure that this is bigger. Steele and goal. Good pick. Gabriella Stupin and Pinnock Akanji. No Trent in here, but there is Salah, Fernandes, Saka, Foden, Jesus, Haaland. Really like this one. I think I prefer Stones to Akanji. I'd prefer to go 3-5-2 though. I think if you could get Mbomo in there, that'd be really nice. I think that would be the only thing that I would say to improve on that one. But yeah, a really nice draft in there as well. Thank you for joining me, guys. I'm going to keep this one at about half an hour because I think it's one that people will enjoy watching back. But as I said at the top, if you want to get your own team rated by AI, then you can do by hitting the link in the description to this video or in the chat. If you join as a channel member, you'll also can get private access to a part of my Discord channel where I'm rating your teams. And you can also get, as a Fantasy Football Hub member, if you go for the Ultra membership, you can get one personalised team review each month from an expert. I'm on that panel as well, and you can get a secret WhatsApp group as well. Lots of exciting stuff. So there's plenty to check out. So do check that out as well. If you've enjoyed this one, make sure you're hitting the like button. Subscribe to the channel as well. Help me get to 20k for Game Week 1. Got 2 weeks to do it, so all of your support appreciated on that one. Hit the notify button as well. Lots of exciting content coming your way, including best defenders tomorrow. So thank you for joining. I'll be back very soon. Thanks for watching.